AITA for not wanting to attend my cousin's funeral? I tried posting this on the other subreddit, but it got removed by the power mods. Just a couple of weeks ago, my beautiful and wonderful 22-year-old cousin passed away from a long battle of terminal illness due to a faulty bone marrow transplant. She was put on hospice and had requested to be taken off of the ventilator because she was in so much pain. We got news that she had passed, and a week afterward, my mom sent me a photo of the obituary for the funeral service. I'm staying with my grandmother until I leave to go to Phoenix on Thursday. She's been letting me crash on her couch in the meantime. I have an issue with attending funerals, and given the religious background of my cousin's mother, I knew it was going to be an open casket funeral. I tried telling my grandma I didn't want to go and that I wasn't comfortable. I even begged her that I did not want to go, and she forced me to. We drove there. They had the percussion and service and prayer. They read the program, and then the dreaded casket reveal happened. I did not want to view the body. My grandmother made me. Seeing my cousin like that in her casket immensely upset me. I still think about it days later. I have been crying intermittently because I never wanted to see my cousin like that. She was incredibly ill before she passed and was insecure about her appearance, according to my sister, who was really close to her. My sister apparently begged my cousin's mother to have a closed casket, but she refused. My grandma saw the body and kept asking, why do her cheeks look like that? And she looks absolutely nothing like she did before? And I had to practice restraint and tell her that it was because my cousin was terminally ill before she died, and she wasn't going to look like herself. Then she asked my mother the same thing, and my mom told her the exact same thing I told her. I am just angry at my grandmother, because she does this with everything. I tell her I am not comfortable with something, and she will either shame me or she will outright bully me to do it. Frankly, I'm still horrified seeing the sight of my cousin, and it has stopped me from being able to sleep the last few nights. She constantly nags me when I try to fall asleep later on throughout the day because I am unable to sleep at night. AITA for not wanting to attend her funeral due to my own want to not see my relative like this? Can I please have input here? Because I do not like the concept of an open casket funeral, and I am having a hard time not feeling jilted over what my grandmother forced me to do. AITA for refusing to drive my STBX to his hotel? AITA? I, 44F, have been separated from my STBX 44M for a year. He wanted to take our kids 8M and 6M to an MLB game in a city that's 4 hours from where we live. We used to do this when we were together, and we would make it a weekend trip. I don't believe he can handle the boys on his own and travel, and I guess he thinks so too because he invited his parents so they could help. His parents are elderly, so I decided to travel in my own car and drive the boys there. I have a safe car. And stay at same hotel to be a backup for my kids. Well, he originally had booked only one night at the hotel his mom chose, even though we had all booked 2 nights for ourselves. So he booked a second night at a different hotel. Then he decided not to bring his car because he could ride with his parents. Fine. The day of the game, he wanted to have everyone go to lunch, but he wanted me to drive them all because he didn't have a car. I didn't want to be forced to do lunch with him or be driving back and forth, so I just told him to take my car. Then he wanted to go shopping. Told him to take my car. Then he needed to take the kids to the game. Told him to take my car. Then after the game around 10 p.m., he decides he wants to take boys for ice cream because they were hungry. He took my car. Surprise! The ice cream didn't take away the hunger, so now he calls me to say he is going to a fast food place and if I can drive him to his hotel afterwards. It is now 11:30 p.m. I'm in bed and I'm tired. I want to sleep and he hasn't even gone for the food yet. I told him no, that he could take my car and park it at his new hotel, that I had given up my car for hours just because he had decided not to bring his own. He got mad because he didn't want to pay $35 to park the car, and it would be an inconvenience to him to go register it. At 3 minutes to get from my hotel to yours, you would pay $35 and much more of my time to avoid 6 minutes. That's definitionally putting your minor interest way above others, much bigger interests. There's a word for that. He told me that was so on par with my values. The next morning, when I asked him when he would bring me back my car, he replied that I could take an Uber, that he was too tired, quoting me from the night before. He did bring me the car, but when he was going to give me the key, he He said that it was too hard for him to reach for the key and that he was again too tired. I didn't even go to the game. I did this whole trip because I don't trust he can handle life and keep the boys safe. So AITA for refusing to drive him to the hotel? AITA, my 21, for ignoring my sister and being rude to her? My sister, 19, has been an absolute asshole for some time now. She's inconsiderate. She doesn't respect people's boundaries. She consistently argues with my parents over everything and is a complete slob who never picks up after herself and expects others to clean her messes. Recently, my family had a beach day where we went and swam for the duration of the day. When my parents and I got home, my sister was nowhere to be found with no explanation. My dog had gotten into my sister's room and chewed up her things. These things included underwear, dirty food bowls, and used tampons in her overflowing trash can. However, the thing that sent me over the edge was the fact that my dog had gotten into her CBD milk chocolate bites. We don't know how many he ate, but he started to show signs of fatigue and drowsiness. So naturally, we called the vet to seek answers. They basically told us that since so much time had passed since it was ingested, there wasn't anything they could do, so they urged us to monitor him throughout the night. So I stayed up with him until my parrots woke up in the morning. Then I was finally able to go to bed myself. My sister didn't get home until I woke up at 4 p.m. At that point, my entire family laid into her for being so reckless. When she came to talk to me, I did the same and told her how pissed I was. I would write this off as a mistake and move on if it wasn't for the fact that she is an absolute slob of a human being and has done shit like this many times. I have lost count of the amount of times I have had to clean her filth because the dog got into it and to tell her to clean up after herself just for her not to do anything. She never changes and she won't this time either. Since this incident occurred, I have been dry and rude towards her, often trying to ignore her completely. Today she got in my face about it, and I essentially told her to fuck off. AITA for this, or is it justified?